took your notes and the two things, okay? I know. I get it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is Thursday, June 8th, 2023. This is a meeting of the Chelsea Licensing Commission. I'm joined this evening by fellow commissioners Mike McAteer, Alexandria Christmas, myself, Marty McAlpine, as well as our licensing clerk, Naomi Lebron, and our city solicitor, Cheryl Watson-Fisher. To start things off, can I get an adoption of the minutes from the May 11th, 2023 Chelsea Licensing Commission meeting?
Motion to adopt minutes.
Can I get a second? Thank you. Moving right along, clerk's update.
Well, first we want to have a motion to approve the renewal of the tobacco licenses, taxi service licenses, which are the taxi companies, and the Hackney licenses. They all expire at the end of June this month, and we'd like a motion to approve all of those who are completed their applications timely.
Quick question on that. With the renewal of those licenses, is the new fares that we discussed last month taking effect?
They're in effect.
They are already in
Yes.
effect?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are in fact, the 3 companies already done it, one more is missing.
Can we get a motion to approve the renewals for the tobacco licenses and the taxi service licenses that are complete in their paperwork at this time?
I make that motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
And that also, just to clarify, because I skipped it, the renewal of the Hackney licenses as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Next is the status of the pocket liquor licenses. We have 2 liquor licenses that are not being used, but that are owned. So currently, we have their beer and wine on-premise licenses. As you know, El Kiosco has a full liquor license now, had purchased the beer and wine, and have had that for over 6 months now, almost about a year. And they haven't sold it or used it. The value of on-premises are even lower since we have open liquor licenses. And also Nancy Cerna, the estate of Nancy Cerna, and I'm going to explain a little bit more why this is important. They've held on to this license for a couple of years. The license was under her name, but being used at Ranchos Las Papusas on the corner of 2nd and Chestnut Street. We transferred the license, approved the transfer of the license for Gustavo Cerna from 92 Washington to that location, but you can't have 2 licenses at that location. He renewed the Nancy Cerna one, even though it wasn't his, but he was scared that he would lose it. He was in the process, he thought, of purchasing it. So we just kind of want to, every now and then we remind you, we have 2 licenses out there not being used, and we wanted to know if you want to bring them before you, how do you want to handle it?
Can you share what has been done in the past with licenses that are not being used?
We usually bring them before the License Commission, they give them so many months to either sell it, transfer it, and then it comes back to the, if not, it will return back to the city's numbers.
And am I correct that that traditionally would happen with 6 months of unuse?
Yes.
So at this point, both of them are over that period of time?
The Kiosco, not yet, a little over 6, so, we send a letter out after 6 months.
Okay.
So I'll be doing that soon.
And I believe Nancy Cerna had passed away at least 2 years ago.
Any questions, comments?
Yeah, let's bring them in. That's fair. Next meeting.
So if we start with the Kioscos, by the time they receive the letter, it will be 6 months, so we could set a date. So bring both of them in.
I would say bring them both in at the next meeting.
Thank you.
We also wanted to know, we got a late email from the ABCC, and it was an email really to the chief of police that they are willing to start that compliance training seminar for all the managers and licensee holders. We wanted to ensure that we do training every couple of years, and we do it down at the police station in their big community room, and I guess we're asking the commission if you mind if we hold the training and we make it mandatory.
Is there only going to be one date offered, or would there be multiple dates if it's being mandatory?
I believe the last time we only did one date and everybody appeared or sent somebody. So they have a manager and/or a licensee. It was full. It was a really good training too. Mike and I attended.
Could I add, in light of what happened in recent months, I wanted to make a motion to have it mandatory?
I agree, it should definitely be mandatory.
Okay. I think it's a good refresher, especially that we're post-COVID at this point, so.
Thank you.
Do we have any idea when that will be yet?
It's between the chief and the ABCC, which happens to be in Chelsea, so I don't think it'll be, hopefully, the summers are hard because of vacations, probably hopefully in the fall.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Next is, and I believe Captain Betts is present, there was a police report at the Chelsea Walk Pub and a complaint. I believe this occurred May 5th? Yes. Yes, and Captain Betts can tell you a little bit more about what happened.
So on May 5th, the units responded for a disturbance. The report reflects the Chelsea Walk Pub. However, that may have been just a dispatch input for that particular location. How you generally refer to calls in the area. It's just going to pick a GPS location from the CAD system. There was a DK or a drunk female that was found out front. She became extremely combative with the officers. That situation ended up resolving itself, and then the officers went back to the Chelsea Walk Pub just to follow up to see if it may have in fact occurred inside, or if it was.
I don't think you're being picked up by the mic.
No? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good. You want me to start over?
No.
Okay. Naomi especially?
Yes,
Okay. So on May 5th, there was a call to the Chelsea Walk Pub. It may or may not have originated inside, just based upon the CAD system, how they get the calls. The officers responded down. They found a woman who was severely intoxicated. They took her into custody. That situation resolved itself. They went back to the Chelsea Walk Pub to review any video that may have been inside, to see if it had started inside or if it in fact spilled outside. They went back in, and the video system was down. So the main focus, I guess, of the follow-up was the inability for the officers to view any video from the inside of the bar to see if it in fact happened inside. They told Officer Fodden and Officer McLaughlin that there was a problem with the video system. It was somewhat antiquated. They didn't have the password. They were told on a few occasions to either get the new password or get a new system. And I believe as of this date, earlier today, Officer McLaughlin was down there, and there still is no new video system or ability for us to review, any video therein if there is an incident. So I think that's obviously a concern for us going forward, especially with the summer months.
Well, and I would say especially considering they are required to maintain 30 days worth of video in having one of the city's liquor licenses. So they're already not doing what they're supposed to do.
Correct.
And am I correct that they just recently reopened again?
Well, it's not recent. They opened last September after being closed during COVID.
And there's been some disciplinary history with this
There's
location?
been some
There was
issues.
issues there, yeah. And most of the issues, we found out how bad it was from the videotape. It was right before you started. It was like 4 issues all in 1 month.
So it seems kind of convenient that the
Yes.
video is suddenly not working?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there was another email too that you may have received from a city resident about it.
Yes.
And she had referenced a video or a photo that they may have taken of an incident out front. It doesn't necessarily mention the Chelsea Walk Pub bar, it just mentions the area in and around the pub. But without
The letter that the captain is referencing is a letter from one of our residents, Deborah Zabit, from 375 Broadway. Her letter reads, "I live at 375 Broadway, and I have noticed over the past 6 months that there is a lot of activity in front of the pub that is uncomfortable for me as a community member. There is definitely drug dealing, there is drunkenness, loud voices and activity, and smoking, cigarettes, and weed. If it was a single person, okay, but it is usually a group. I have also noticed a lot more police activity in the area. For instance, right now as I write this email, there is a lot of activity. My assumption is that the city agencies who are hands-on with people in crisis are doing what they can to help those that they can. However, as a community member who is a work-from-home person, I just have a lot of visibility and things have gotten consistently worse. Is there anything to be done?" And this was dated Friday, May 26th at 11:35 a.m. And in the little picture that she attached, there is indeed a police vehicle in front at that time.
Yeah, so I mean, the email in and of itself, I think, is self-explanatory about the enforcement effort. You know, she, makes statements to certain things going on, but on the flip side, the city agencies are doing what we're supposed to down there. So I'm not really certain what the context of the complaint would be. Other than that, I think the city is on top of whatever was happening outside that she was concerned with. But we'll just keep it on file.
Could we bring them in for the violation of not having the videotape?
Definitely.
Okay.
I think that they definitely need to come before us at the next meeting.
I second that.
I agree.
So a
Motion for a public
motion
hearing.
for a public hearing for the Chelsea Walk Pub.
A motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good on that one? Okay. Next up, we have a public hearing to consider an amusement and entertainment license application for Fiesta Shows Carnival on September 7th through September 10th, 2023 at 1100 Revere Beach Parkway, Chelsea, Mass. It is a pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you again. My name is John Flynn. I am the Vice President of Dean & Flynn, Inc., doing business as Fiesta Shows. Here tonight to ask for your permission to have our, I believe it's the 8th annual carnival over at the Home Depot parking lot.
Oh, this is the Home Depot, not
Yep.
the usual location.
No, the other one was already
No,
approved.
they just set
It
up
starts
today.
tonight.
We inspected
Yeah,
today,
I'm like, that-
everything was good.
Yeah.
I was going to say that one we had already approved.
Yeah. This
Open
is a different
tonight.
location. Okay,
I lose track of the days.
yeah, okay.
Any initial questions from my fellow commissioners?
Any safety concerns regarding the Home Depot location?
Captain?
None from the police department's concerned. They've been more than, cooperative and forthright with any of their, plans that they've had or anything they've submitted.
Mike, anything on ISDs?
No, and then I hear complaints, nothing to do with you, about lighting down there. We just gotta make sure there's enough lighting, other than that. Not on his site, but on the road. Other than that, no.
I'm not sure if you have to contact John DePriest on this one. I know you did for Easton Ave.
I do over there too.
Oh, okay, yeah, can you
conservation.
contact
John
him?
had a plot plan of what we're doing at Eastern Ave, and he also gets one over there.
Okay, thank you.
I never thought of that as being wetlands over there, but I guess there is a portion that is wetlands.
Oh, yeah,
It's
Yeah,
attached to the
Chelsea
creek.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I know there's a lot of construction going on down there now, right, with one of the buildings, so I don't know how that will impact, any setup.
I haven't been down there in probably 3 months, but I'll take a look at it.
Are you referencing the businesses to the left of Home Depot?
Yes.
Yeah, where Save-A-Lot was and a couple of the other businesses, so.
They should be done by September.
No, they're
We're on
slow.
the right of Home Depot.
They won't even be
per se,
close
so-
to done. It's
I
better like that. There's not that much activity in the front, it's all in the back, that I saw.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this matter?
Real quick, Roy Veganetta, 325 Commandant's Way, and as you alluded to, this is the Fiesta Shows operates twice a year in Chelsea. Once in June, and the second one in October. This is like the 8th year, as he has stated, in a row at the Home Depot. The one that is down on Eastern Avenue, both of these are fundraisers for local charities or events and so forth. The first one, the one that is on Eastern Ave, that's going to raise money for scholarships for local Chelsea High students and Northeast students also. This one has been the one that has been dedicated for Chelsea Community Connections, which helps families with diapers, food, coats, and food drives, and people who get displaced. So that's the way that I've helped Dawn direct the two different events. So each one does one particular good deed in the community, and so traditionally we have directed any proceeds from the event on the Home Depot lot to Chelsea Community Connections, and that's why I hope that you will approve this so that we continue to help out local families that way through a good event.
Thank you, Roy. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to speak on this matter? Seeing no one. Captain, any other comments from the police department?
No, we're very much satisfied.
Fellow commissioners?
We're good.
Can we get a motion to approve?
I'll set the motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Best of luck with this weekend
you
show
very
and
much.
the one in the fall.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a public hearing to consider a special alcoholic beverage license, off-premise beer garden, application for Bear Moose Theater Zone Incorporated, Apollinaire Theater, and a one-day amusement and entertainment license application for the Apollinaire Theater at 189 Winnisimmet Street. That one didn't come out right. Winnisimmet Street, Chelsea, Mass. If you could please step up to the microphone.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very well.
My name's Allison McCarthy, and I'm here representing Apollinaire Theater Company.
My name is Andrew Gilman, representing Bear Moose.
Thank you very much. If you could just speak on why you are applying for these permits.
Yeah, sure. So the one-day A&E license is for Apollinaire in the Park, which is happening in, hopefully, at Chelsea Square in August. And it's free outdoor bilingual English-Spanish theater. It'll be a production of Hamlet.
Oh, very nice.
I'm here requesting the pouring permit for the dates of the 4th, 5th, 11th, 12th, 18th, and 19th for the outdoor beer garden for the shows.
And can you talk a little bit about the hours that this, both the show would be taking place and the hours that the beer garden would be available?
Sure. So the 5 to 10:30 here, so 5 o'clock is when we would begin setting up in Chelsea Square. 6 o'clock, I believe, is when we were looking to have the beer garden open. There would be some pre-show performances, which might be music. The youth program, a couple of nights, is going to be putting on a performance. So there'd be different acts as part of a pre-show. And then the performance itself, I believe we're planning to start at 7:30. Sometimes the time is shifted a little bit from year to year. And it would be, set in different locations in Chelsea Square as it has been the past 2 years. It will be a 90-minute performance of Hamlet is what we're aiming for, and then to have the beer garden open again after the performance closes.
And what time would the beer garden close?
Yeah, we have here, we'll probably close at
Like 10?
around 10 and give us a half an hour to clean up and get out. Yeah.
Questions from my fellow commissioners?
That street shut down, right, for the play?
Yes.
I see that you're going to have tables. How many people are you going to accept in your beer garden? Like, what's the maximum?
I think we'd said about 100 people.
100?
Capacity to 10 tables.
Yeah.
It's a good distance.
Oh, okay.
The whole one
This is our third summer of doing this.
Yeah. Is it stand-in or just they're gonna have seats as well?
Yeah, seats as well, yep.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Did you happen to go to it in the past? I haven't been able to make it over there.
The first year I went by it, I didn't go into the beer garden, but I saw parts of the play, the Spanish version.
What's the security around the beer garden?
The police department.
Are you gonna have someone there or just relying on the police?
We've just had the police there in the past, and then I think we had some people over down by the municipal lot that like volunteers in the parking lot in the
Okay.
past.
All right.
Captain, has there been any issues in the prior years?
No, there haven't been any, and, I would obviously defer back to your knowledge for, the prior occasions that they've had anything down there, but just by virtue of them being here before you today, I would think that, they have been more than compliant with anything, and I don't foresee any problems as long as everything remains as they've had it.
I don't remember hearing of any issues after last year's event. No complaints to my knowledge. Any other concerns from the police department?
No, I would think you're just going to work out the traffic logistics with, the street closures as you've done in the past, and arrange however many, detail officers you may have had, and I think we'd be fine. So,
Any other questions from my fellow commissioners?
Write the note.
Nothing for the public?
Thank you. You're welcome. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter? I will take that as a no. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
See
you.
you guys there?
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you. And next on the agenda, we have a public hearing to consider an application for a rooming house license for Hawthorne Broadway LLC at 165 Hawthorne Street, Chelsea, Mass. Is there anyone here this evening to, very well, and yourself?
My name is Rick Costa, and I'm calling for, I'm not calling, to put the rooming house transfer into my name on Hawthorne Street, 165.
So when I was reviewing the documents, if I'm correct, it says that the old rooming house had 18 rooms,
Yes, it did.
and what you have listed is 12 rooms?
Yes.
Can you explain what you were doing differently in the space?
Yes, we're reducing the density on the top, and we're reducing it to that amount of units so we can add a bathroom per unit and also a kitchen.
Very nice.
Yeah,
And I believe I heard that you've done this with some other properties.
we have. I've done a couple on Fifth Street, one on Sixth Street as well, and I think this is the best way to go as far as the layout goes, rather than have that older shared type of a bathroom situation.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Any questions from my fellow commissioners?
I mean, I guess I
Initially?
refer this to Mike, like, shouldn't we see the house plans since it's being reduced?
Do you have plans with you?
I
saw him
a
already.
plan.
I wrote a letter to he's got to go in front of the ZBA. So the building now is in terrible shape. The hallways are probably not even 30 inches. It needs a makeover. He's done 3 already. I have my guys say he did a great job on the other 3.
So this is the proposed, not the current?
This is the proposed.
And so you said that the hallways are currently only 30 inches?
26, 28, and they're really narrow.
Are you gonna change that with the proposed?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I would think as soon as he touches the walls, he has to, because he's not to code.
And there's only 2 bathrooms, and 1 bathroom on floor. It's a lot for 12 people to share 1 bathroom.
Yeah. So you're saying you're gonna have a bathroom per unit?
Yes.
Oh, wow, okay. All right. Should it be pending until this is reviewed and approved by the zone, or no?
So licenses aren't issued until you get your occupancy permit, which are not
Okay.
issued until after the zoning
Yeah, right.
approval.
Right, it wouldn't matter the pen, because he's gonna have to get everybody out to do the renovation. He won't
All
open
right, so
till he
that's
gets
like
out.
a whole level?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's why I
Right, he
wanted
won't be able to have anyone there while he's doing this.
Okay.
Forgive me, because I don't really know a ton about how rooming houses work. The people that were in these houses, are they still there? Are they?
They're still there, but it's kind of partially, oh yeah. They're still there, but it's kind of partially emptying out. They have it, they're running it right now as a very transient type of a situation. It's not good.
Okay. And so are you looking to do it more as month rentals, or?
A lot of the clients now, they like a longer-term stability, so they ask us for 1-year leases and 1-year commitments. Some ask us for less, some ask us for more. But most of the time, they'd like to stay a minimum of a year. Yeah.
And obviously, if you are enlarging the units and providing restrooms, there's going to be cost differences.
Yes.
But you're obviously providing
Yes.
a much better product.
Yes.
Are you going to have these still as a lower cost option for folks, or are these going to be at the kind of, I don't know if it's the right term, but the standard
The
rates
higher
that are now
market-
in the
yeah,
city?
Well, markets in studios are somewhere around $17.50, $18.50, you know, per the rates that they set. We're probably somewhere, we're much lower than that.
Okay.
We're like 14-ish and change or whatever, yeah.
So still reasonable considering the market?
It's lower,
I mean, it's,
yes.
nothing in the area is really reasonable
Yeah,
anymore,
no,
but,
it's fine, yeah.
but that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would see it going up, given those improvements.
Yes.
Which I think in this day and age is necessary, let alone the fact that you're saying
It's
the building is
necessary. It's bad.
essentially,
It's bad, yeah.
dare I say, decrepit from the sounds of it. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on this matter?
I have two letters that were submitted. The first one is by City Council President Leo Robinson. He wrote, "Dear Commissioners, this letter is in support of the application for a rooming house license filed by Mr. Rick Costa and his company Hawthorne Broadway LLC. Mr. Costa has renovated and rebuilt the Dominion on the corner of Chestnut and Fifth Street and another one on Fifth Street. He develops quality housing for Chelsea residents. He has also developed, if you looked across the street, 52 Washington Ave, he's built housing there. Mr. Costa also manages the properties he develops. The city has no problems with his buildings, and he's exceptionally managed and developed housing units that are habitable and not a blight on the community. 165 Hawthorne Street has become a nuisance on city resources and to the community. We need someone who can manage this property. I highly support this application and urge the commission to favorably grant the license." Then I received an email from the former city manager, Thomas Ambrosino. "Just writing because I understand Rick Costa is before the licensing commission tonight for a rooming house on Hawthorne. Just want you to know I have been pressing Rick for 4 years to buy that piece of CRAP from the Rizzo family. That really was one of the last really bad rooming houses we had near the downtown. I know he will improve it substantially from its current poor state. So to the extent it means anything, I just want you to know that I think his ownership, as opposed to that of the Rizzo family, is a major step forward for the city and the downtown. So to the extent he needs licensing commission support for his efforts, I hope he gets it. Thomas Ambrosino."
So you said 52 Washington, is that the one across from the fire station?
Yes.
That's just kind of finishing up the sign
Yes.
work right now?
Yes.
That's coming out quite nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I asked if there was anybody from the public to speak on the matter. There was no one except for those two letters that were received. Captain, any comment, feedback from the police department?
No, I think you've pretty well summed it all up as far as, you know, the lower scope of things up until, you know, the improvements, and we're not going to stand in the way of improvements, obviously, if they're looking to better the downtown, and it's only going to better the people who may be homeless or, you know, in transition, so any improvement's good as far as we're concerned.
Can I get a motion to approve the application for a rooming house license pending the necessary approvals through zoning and any other boards through the city?
I'll motion.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next meeting is July 13th, 2023. Meeting adjourned.